Welcome, everybody. Today we have Ugne with us, and Ugne is an expert in negotiations and international business negotiations, so I'm very happy that she agreed to this interview. Ugne, welcome. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your experiences in negotiations and IB negotiations so that we can learn a little bit from these experiences.
First of all, thank you, Nicole, for inviting me to this interview. I will gladly share my experience with the students. My name is Ugne Finkinsen, and I'm an international business negotiator. I have a background in legal, and I've been negotiating contracts for more than 15 years. Currently, I have my own negotiation agency called Firm and Fair that specializes in business negotiations on an international scales. Before that, I have been working for AP Mask as part of their legal team and negotiating international contracts, mostly in IT and tech, with very large companies and also smaller companies.
Super. So that means from your experiences also with Møller-Mærsk, obviously you have an experience with companies located in Denmark, but also with these negotiations that span different countries. And you have also negotiated a lot of deals where I think that's my understanding at least, companies all over the world were involved.
Yes.
Could you maybe give us one example where a strategic partnership or a merger and acquisition of two partners in an international context have been involved, and tell us a little bit about the process or how this actually works?
Before jumping into answering what is the common process for negotiation, I would also like to clarify what negotiation is. Because in my experience, very often in business, we see pre-sales activities or selling activities being mixed up with the negotiation. And while certain criteria or there are some similarities between the two, there is a key difference. Because I like to define negotiation where there are two or more parties in business that need or want something from each other. However, they have some differences that do not allow them just to agree to the certain agreement, right? And then there are certain things like dependencies, depending how many alternatives one or another party may have, and that put pressure on the deal itself. If we simplify the view of the process in negotiation, so one stage is a preparation stage. That is often overlooked in business. In preparation stage, most larger companies have a very thorough process where they identify what they need from the negotiation, what their goal is, what strategy they are planning to adopt, considering the criteria like is relationship important? Is it a long-term partnership? Or is it just an objective, maybe a lower price, but they don't see the long-term cooperation with the other side? Another stage that is important is the opening stage, how we start negotiation, and what do we do in that stage with negotiation, right? Because in the opening stage, you can say there's a warm-up stage where parties build relationship in certain countries. Some countries, they go straight to business. But also what position you adapt. Do you anchor? Do you put the price on the table right away or use something else? As a third stage, and usually the longest stage, is often called bargaining stage or trade-off stage. I like calling it a solution finding stage because that's where the parties working together or should aim working together to find a solution for the outcome. And then there is closing. So either you actually have a negotiation and you have a contract in the form of contract, or you decide to walk away and look for other alternatives. So the process, regardless whether it's a strategic partnership or joint venture or M&A or conflict resolution, you will always go through those four stages in the negotiation, and of course how you perform in each of them will reflect on your outcome.
So what you're saying is that all of these four stages are actually what we would call a negotiation, and not only the bargaining stage or the bargaining and closing stage, what I think most people would have in their minds when they think of negotiation.
Yes, and I would even go so far to say that as a lawyer, I would say that there's a stage of contract signing and contract preparation. And sometimes I differentiate it as a separate stage, because if lawyers are not involved at the beginning of the negotiation, then it might add a new layer to the negotiation, because if they're only commercial people or business people negotiating contracts, they might agree on certain terms, but then when you put them into contract, there might a small negotiation arise again, because not everything was that clear for the lawyers, or they have not been involved from the beginning.